Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Speaking or behaving in an artificial way to make an impression. Being excited or provoked to the expression of an emotion. Acted upon, influenced. Speaking or behaving in an artificial way to make an impression. Not normal, not typical or usual or regular or conforming to a norm. Not in accordance with or determined by nature, contrary to nature. An unnatural death. Being excited or provoked to the expression of an emotion. Too moved to speak. Being excited or provoked to the expression of an emotion. Emotionally aroused. Set into a usually circular motion in order to mix or blend. Slightly insane. Being excited or provoked to the expression of an emotion. Very touched by the stranger's kindness. Having come into contact. Of a voice, affectedly mellow and rich. The radio announcer's plummy voice. Very desirable. A plummy leading role. Artificially formal. A stilted letter of acknowledgement. Having unnatural mannerisms. Brief, mannered and unlifelike idiom. Lacking natural ease. Struggling for effect. Lacking spontaneity, not natural. A constrained smile. Showing signs of mental and emotional tension. Her voice was strained as she asked the question. Artificially formal. Effusively or insincerely emotional. Lacking spontaneity, not natural. Forced heartiness. Forced or compelled. Promised to abolish forced labor. Made necessary by an unexpected situation or emergency. A forced landing. Produced by or subjected to forcing. Forced air heating. Used of style of speaking, overly embellished. An elocutionary Oxonian delivery. Of or relating to elocution. Elocutionary recitals. Artificially formal. Contrived coyness. Showing effects of planning or manipulation. A novel with a contrived ending. Lacking spontaneity, not natural. A constrained smile. Artificially formal. That artificial humility that her husband hated. Contrived by art rather than nature. Artificial flowers. Not arising from natural growth or characterized by vital processes. Striving to overcome in argument. A dialectical and agonistic approach. Struggling for effect. Agonistic poses. Of or relating to the athletic contests held in ancient Greece. Affected by an impairment of normal physical or mental function. Affected with madness or insanity. Having a strong distaste from surfeit. Sick of it all. Of light, lacking in intensity or brightness, dim or feeble. Shockingly repellent, inspiring horror. Feeling nausea. Feeling about to vomit. Eject the contents of the stomach through the mouth. deeply affected by a strong feeling. Sat completely still, sick with envy. People who are sick. They devote their lives to caring for the sick. Infatuated with or enthralled by the theater, especially the desire to act. Used in combination, affected by something overwhelming. Conscience smitten. Marked by foolish or unreasoning fondness. Used in combination, affected by something overwhelming. Awe-struck. Used in combination, affected by something overwhelming. Put out of action, by illness. Grievously affected especially by disease. Deeply or markedly affected or influenced. Affected by or overcome with wonder. Understood in a certain way, made sense of. A word taken literally. Be affected with an indisposition. The child was taken ill. A branch of knowledge. Teachers should be well trained in their subject. Possibly accepting or permitting. The time is fixed by the director and players and therefore subject to much variation. A person who owes allegiance to that nation. A monarch has a duty to his subjects. Being under the power or sovereignty of another or others. Subject peoples. Make subservient, forced to submit or subdue. The subject matter of a conversation or discussion. He didn't want to discuss that subject. Something, a person or object or scene, selected by an artist or photographer for graphic representation. A moving picture of a train is more dramatic than a still picture of the same subject. A person who is subjected to experimental or other observational procedures. Someone who is an object of investigation. The subjects for this investigation were selected randomly. Some situation or event that is thought about. He had been thinking about the subject for several years. Cause to experience or suffer or make liable or vulnerable to. He subjected me to his awful poetry. Grammar. One of the two main constituents of a sentence, the grammatical constituent about which something is predicated. Likely to be affected by something. The bond is subject to taxation. Logic, the first term of a proposition. Make accountable for. He did not want to subject himself to the judgments of his superiors. Produced or marked by conscious design or premeditation. A studied smile. Of persons, excessively affected by emotion. He would become emotional over nothing at all. Of more than usual emotion. His behavior was highly emotional. Determined or actuated by emotion rather than reason. It was an emotional judgment. Of or pertaining to emotion. Emotional health.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.